And we just had the meeting in Mona, so had a couple of hundred people there, and I went a bit rogue with questions out of sync. So we will hold, for the MC, we'll hold questions until the end after everybody's spoken, and then have the relevant agency or person speak to the question. So Dale Tennis, I'm the Deputy Incident Controller in at Horsham ICC. So I believe some of you may have had Mark Gunning, who was Incident Controller a couple of days ago at a meeting, and Stephen Walls has come in as Incident Controller now. Mark was there for the day, I came in the next day, and Stephen's now come in. So we've got a bit of continuity with myself into the scene. Grand Prix National Park Bounce open at 5, so Tuesday, as we're all aware, so a little bit of the weather on the day, and then the fire, and then I guess what the weather's looking like going forward, and then what actions we're taking currently and for the next few days is where I want to go today briefly. So really ridiculously bad day Tuesday, as we're all aware. Catastrophic declaration. We had resources and teams in place, knew that it was potential for a very bad day, and that unfortunately eventuated on the day. So late morning, lightning band through from the northwest, travelling sort of southwesterly under the northerly winds through the park. A number of lightning strikes, quite a few strikes through the park, with obviously the Mount Stapleton fire and the Belfield fire taking, and obviously progressing from there. There were a number of other, at least one other small fire in the park that was contained quite quickly on the day. It was in a slightly more accessible location, as you would know, being locals, up on the top of the escarpment. It's a pretty bad spot for access, pretty bad spot to have a lightning strike occur. Very quickly onto with aircraft, that with the 100k winds and the conditions on the day. First attack, what we call first attack likelihood of success, was going to be always very low, and that's what transpired. Fire obviously pushed with the northerly winds, and then a gradual southwesterly wind change came in and pushed the spread as we've got now. Very quickly came off the escarpment and obviously ran through the lower lying park areas and then out into the private property and impacts. And as we're aware, one residence was destroyed in the fire, unfortunately. I just probably want to start off by really acknowledging the great work for all the crews, particularly CFA, local brigades, Forest Fire Management, Victoria staff, CFA and other staff on the day, as well as residents, and many of you probably stayed in place and protected, helped to protect your own properties. Just really want to acknowledge the great work that was done on the day and has been done since to really keep the fire impact as low as possible. So really great work by all the crews. In terms of work that's been done, effectively the private property interface has been contained for now probably 36 hours, so really good work. It's been minimal worth, so we've had dozers and graders working around it. The crews have been out there really extinguishing every single bit of burning material that was there and available, and things like hazard trees and other works have been done to really make the fire area safe and obviously get people back into their houses as quickly as possible. In terms of the park, we've also put dozer lines and grader lines in up to the steep country. And up on the escarpment, what we've done there is, if you've seen it, it's been painted red with retardant. So we've had the large air tankers, multiple helicopters, multiple fixed-wing aircraft, putting retardant lines into basic corral the fire as close to the black edge as possible. And we've also put crews in, so we've got about 30 crews up on top of the escarpment at the minute, top of the hill, being dropped in by helicopter, and they're literally picking it apart step by step and dealing with the edge to really consolidate the edge. From a weather perspective, obviously the one day, and then conditions have improved since. We're in a really stable pattern for the next probably 4 to 5 days. So light winds, it's warm, it's Horsham, it's always warm. But in terms of firefighting, conditions really good. So we're really looking to consolidate the fire before some potential stronger winds and warmer weather, probably into Thursday, Friday next week. So we've got a really good period to really keep this consolidated and ensure that there's actually nothing else that can pop up from this fire, to restart the fire or drop embers and start new fires. So that's really the focus we've got at the minute. As I said, the private property's been largely contained for quite a while. From the park perspective, we're actually pretty comfortable, inverted commas, that we've got no risk of escape. So the likelihood is that this fire and the Balfour fire will go to contained by tonight. So contained doesn't mean we're walking away. Contained means that there's basically no expectation that the fire will jump up and start running again. So it's not under control, it's contained and contained to the current area. We'll be on this fire for a number of weeks yet. The IMT will be in place. Resourcing is basically at the same level we've had right through. We'll be, just, as I said, focusing those resources, particularly up in the park, but really consolidate all the lines and ensure we've got no breakaway potential as the weather warms. But as I say, just to reiterate, if it goes to contain tonight, we're not walking away, we're continuing to fight the fire. So as I said, weather's looking good. We're working really hard on it. We've got crews in some pretty difficult locations doing some really the heavy lifting to make sure we've got this thing contained and controlled and corralled. Just a slightly veer, put my other badge on, which is as a Park Victoria employee. From a park perspective, the park will remain closed through the weekend, and we'll look at potentially a staged reopening, particularly for the southern end, into next week, so possibly from Tuesday. So I understand probably, Hall's Gap and Pomona, there's obviously economic drivers from the park, so we are looking to balance the fact we're fighting fires in the park versus people want to get out and enjoy the park, so we've got that balance. So we'll look at a staged reopening going forward, probably into next week. There'll be some more advice around that probably coming out Monday. That is it. We'll hold questions till the end. I'll pass that to Kim.
But do you know what, Dale? I think, Dadswells Bridge is really awesome, so if you want to have any questions about the fire specifically, then perhaps now is a good chance before we jump into Victoria Police and Board. Any
Thanks.
questions?
I've no questions. Yep.
How come parks don't do more fire breaks like they used to?
Yep, so it's actually not park. So I'll put my other badge on, which is as part of Forest Fire Management Victoria. So FMVIC are actually charged with planned burning and fuel reduction across the state. So and we're joined up with, so Parks Victoria and FMVIC DECA are joined up in that approach. We've got a range of planned burning across the landscape. Unfortunately, nature's a fickle, or is the normal term, a fickle beast. We've got a program. It doesn't always match up with where the lightning events or other fire starts occur. So it's a balanced approach to get the sort of best bang for our buck in terms of the areas we do fuel reduce, and particularly around townships or focuses, but more broadly through the park and other forested areas. So it is that challenge of Mother Nature does what Mother Nature does, and with the conditions on the day, we even had areas that were fuel reduced where the fire went through. Again, even fuel reduction burns from a few years ago, the fire skipped through and over and continued.
Yeah, but to do an area every 20 years.
Won't get into semantics. It's definitely more regular than that. We've got a yearly program that we cycle through the district. Happy to take it offline and we can work you through the program. And there's also community input options into the program, which is a yearly development. So happy to get your details and happy to connect you with the right people there to input if you'd like.
Look, my property is directly behind the Collar. The question I would have is, why did the hazard reduction burn not go ahead 2 years ago when all the tracks were put in ready for it? Everything was prepared, it was all around trees was cleared, trees that were going to be saved were cleared, trees that were going to be taken to take. Why didn't that go ahead? The weather at that time was exceptionally good for a burn.
Look, I can't speak to the circumstance of the day. The fact that it was prepped means that the intent was that it was to be burned.
Had you done that burn, the area between Old Dadswells Town and my property would have burned.
Yep. As I say,
would have had a We asked about that. I built my property 20 years ago, and as I've been an ex-department person, they specifically asked for that to be looked at as part of the patchwork burn that was being done at the time. Nothing was done for 18 years. 2 years ago, we put the tracks in, nothing happened.
Yeah, so as I said, I can't speak to their circumstances, but we actually, fuel reduction burning, it's a challenging environment. If we burn too early, we actually get too hot conditions or too hot conditions and potential to lose burns. If we burn too late, the weather isn't conducive to burning. So it is a very narrow window of opportunity across a program across the entire estate. So can't explain, or can't tell you why that particular burn on the day didn't go ahead, but the fact that it was prepped meant that the intent was it was to be burned. As to why it got burned or not burnt, I can't actually speak to that.
Thanks, Dan. We will take that offline and continue that conversation. So we're not going anywhere. So we're still going to be tapping into community and make sure we get your that discussion happening. Thank you, Dale.
And I'm happy to hang around afterwards and have a more direct conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so we're all remaining, by the way. So if you don't get an opportunity to raise a question now, plenty of time for one-to-one afterwards where you can ask these direct questions as well. I'd like to also now introduce Victoria Police Superintendent Sharon McRoy, who is going to speak to the public safety and traffic management points.
Thanks, Kendra. Hello again, everyone. I did meet some of you the other night. Some of you are new to this meeting, so it's good to be here today. I think the other night we were speaking about the traffic management points. Obviously, they have gone for here, and we've opened up the highway. And as I indicated the other night, that's on advice from the incident controller. And I know it took a little while. Our job around that is to be guided by the incident control, but and there's a lot of factors into that. The main one of those is for our people to keep out those people we don't want in. Now that can, I think you know where I'm going here, there can be a number of different reasons for that, but basically that's to keep you safe while your homes are under threat, or the fire has gone through, and we need to protect you as a community and give you some space. So I'll just explain that, and if anyone had any difficulties with our members on the traffic management points, I'll apologise for that, but our members are at different levels of experience and expertise, and they are humans. So they're put on a traffic management point, and their job is, they take it pretty seriously, and they're told to stop people coming in. They sometimes see it as a bit of black and white. We did try and work through a few issues as it arose over the couple of days that we had the points in. But I'm glad to see that the highways opened up. Maybe not so much for the trucks that are now rumbling down, but anyway, you can hear me, which you all said to me I wouldn't have been able to be heard the other night, so that's a good thing. From here on in, our job is to protect you still as a community, obviously, that's the Victoria Police Charter, but probably a bit more so is to really be visible here and show you that our members are out and about. Now, you might not always see them, that doesn't mean they're not here. I understand there's been some issues with some speeding through the 40k zone. I won't put him on the spot, but I have our traffic manager here, and he's in charge of the highway patrol, and I know that we had a couple of complaints, and the highway patrol have been tasked to deal with the motorists that aren't heeding the signs. So hopefully that will be having some impact, and that's, the signs are there for a reason, and that's to protect the people still out fighting, doing the work that they've got to do, but also so that you can come and go with some safety as well. So that work it's happening as we speak, and if it flares up again, please reach out to us, and we'll put some more resources into it. And if I need to sit on the side of the road with my hairdryer stuck out the car, I'll certainly do that, because it's been a few years since I've used a radar, so I'd have to brush up on that. But I reckon the hairdryer would work anyway. If you've got any concerns, as always, you can just ring us. if it's urgent, obviously 000, but you know, I'm sure most of you would have the number for the police station. If you've got some concerns about any security of your properties or anything like that, like Dale said, Brendan and I will be hanging around afterwards. Please come and see us. We'd rather talk you through what can be done and give you some advice than you, you know, just stew on it and be really concerned about it. You know, it's an interesting time for us now because we feel like, you know, we don't have that specific job anymore of stopping the traffic. But we also, we certainly do still have the job of keeping you safe and making sure that you know that we are there for you should you need us. So please, if something is happening, please ring us. Don't sit at home and think, oh, I don't want to bother, you know, something's happening, but I don't want to bother you because there's so much going on around the place. Just ring and we can talk you through, even if it's not something that we need to come out to. Lastly, we're all human beings here. Afterwards, come up and see me. If you want a hug, I'll give you a hug. I am a human under this uniform, so just come up and see me. You know, I was rapt to hear that Deb's fur babies got through, that they had enough food. You know, it'd be nice to chat to you, even if you haven't got any questions. Please come up and talk to us afterwards. But what a wonderful little community, and we are certainly here to look after you.
Just a very quick one. Sorry. Keep talking. I was concerned about one property which is denied workers arriving to look after the lifestyle. Surely, when the person is challenged at a checkpoint, the person says, "That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get in."
Yeah, I understand.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
I can understand what you're saying. They've got a fairly black and white attitude at that time. Surely they have telephones, they have radios. A quick call means instant control. Surely we'll clarify that for those people.
Absolutely, and we are taking back a few of the issues that have cropped up. Absolutely, we'll do our own internal, what we call a debrief or an after-action review, and the issues with the traffic management points we'll be speaking about and trying.
Whether there's some quick thing like a bracelet that can be given to people quickly, that's easy to access. Whatever.
And I understand the angst with that when it comes to animals. You know, I love animals myself, so I know you know.
What concerns me is the guy's responsible for an enormous lot of birds. He needed help.
Yeah.
And
my work has got to 2 miles down the road and they'll stop from coming through. So is there some way, should I be getting permission or some sort of permit that my workers can get through without having to dodge around backtracks and things like that?
And they didn't even know, some of them didn't even know what Dadswells was. Yeah. I went up to them and I'm like, I live in Dadswells, and they're like, what?
Yeah. We had people from outside of the area come, so there is that lack of local knowledge.
I think Mark the other night, was talking about wristbands.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that needs to be.
Yeah, the wristbands kick in at a certain when the TMPs have been downgraded to a certain level. The other night they were still at the top level, which meant only emergency services, and that is for a reason, and that there's been a lot of work.
Yeah, look, I was just going to jump in there. So as the incident controller, or even the deputy incident controller, the ratings, so we've got different classifications for traffic management points. They actually rest with me to make or the incident controller to make the decisions, and it's around the safety level of the event at the time, and then Big Pole implement that on our behalf. So what we don't want, so while the fire's active and really active, it's emergency services only, because effectively anybody that goes into the fire ground could die. It's actually life and death. So that's a total ban on anybody other than emergency services going in. Essential services are another level, and that's where once the initial firefights through and things have died down, that's when we start to look at downgrading the circumstances around the traffic management points and letting more services in. Understand that we may not have been perfect here, but all I can say is from an incident control perspective, we've had lots of people ring into the control centre, and this isn't, I guess, public knowledge, and so it's not easy to do, to actually talk about the circumstances, and then we can actually issue permits based on the circumstances and the stage of the firefight. But on the Tuesday, there was literally no chance that people were going to be going through recovery management points, because they could have died and would have died.
Wednesday and Thursday, not having to do it Tuesday.
Yep, and that's where we then got to balance the risk and generate it. So it has now occurred, and we could have done it a little bit differently. A phone call in may have provided some access.
One of my neighbours, he came to the roadblock, and he was told to go up to Rupania, and he said, "Oh, I know about another road just up the road here, and come back here." His copper said to him, he said, "Do that, and I'll phone you."
The same thing was said to my employees as well. If they were caught going down that road, they would be fined.
Yep. And
Well, they were just following orders.
yeah, and as I said,
I know.
We do ask it, and that's why I preface by saying.
You just don't listen.
Yeah.
He said, the road is shut, and that needs to be going to go to a certain point, and there's plenty of roads.
yeah. So as I said, we've got some learnings. We'll feed back into the system.
I think that's the main thing that
Yeah.
everyone, it's not just here, I'm sure it's everywhere. Everyone's frustrated. As long as it can be taken away and something can be looked at to improve the system next time.
Yeah.
And,
But as a final comment to close it out, as I said, decisions is with me as the IC. I'm going to make a call based on my best knowledge and community safety. I don't want on my conscience the fact that we've let somebody go through, and I get a report through VicPol or others that there's a burnt car on the side of the road with bodies in it. So that's.
Alright, I'm just going to pause only because we've got a lot to get through, and so what I want to do is bring the questions to the end, but also we really want to make sure we're recording this, so don't underestimate how important what you have to say is, but we're still here, we're not going anywhere. This is the incident response, and this is what's ongoing right now. So this is still in the Abortion Incident Control Centre where we are, but what we're trying to do is ensure that all the support we're providing to you is seamless as it goes forward today, tomorrow, in the weeks and months to come. So I want to acknowledge Horsham Rural City Council. We've had our Mayor speak. Mandy Stewart is also here, and a good point of contact for anything that you might have in regards to anything going forward as we go through our speakers. So they're here to talk to you today after they've given their little intro spiel. And I also want to acknowledge Justine from Northern Grampian Shire Council, if you just want to stand up in case we have any people across that invisible line here today. Alright, so we're going to start with GW and water. We're going to quickly go through the services, and then we're going to open it up and really unpack what our concerns are. So over to you, Adele Road from GW and water.
Hi everyone, my name's Adele, I'm from GW and water. Really sorry to hear what you've been through over the past week. Please know that our staff are all thinking about you and sending their well wishes. So as far as we're aware, there isn't any, I suppose, immediate issues with piped water supply to the area. If you do have any issues with access to your water supply, please call us. Our 1-800 number is available 24/7, so you can register them there. So yeah, please just get in touch. Otherwise, I'll pass on to the next.
Yeah, thank you, Adele. And Adele's staying here. So any tank questions, anything that's going on in your property, let's be in line for Adele shortly. We now are going to go to Nathan Durbridge from Department of Health, and then after that we'll go to Abby Merkley from for Relief.
Thanks, Kendra. Good afternoon, everybody. Kendra, my name's Nathan Durbridge. I'm from the Department of Health. A couple of key messages just following on from the information that Carly provided earlier in the week. For those that have got private drinking water, we have got some resources. Either can be accessed online through the Better Health channels, or we have some handouts here today just around assessing the water quality that you have there and the steps that you need to take to ensure that safety. On that Better Health Channel website and the other handouts we have are also some other information around returning to properties that have been fire affected, particularly around smoke, dust and ash. We have got the return to home kits that have got the disposable coveralls, gloves and masks that are available. Some of those were brought out earlier, and we'll continue to work with council as to where the best place to distribute those are. I would like to introduce Faith, who's from Grampians Community Health. You'll see these people around over the coming days who are around providing wellbeing and psychological supports. These events bring out a whole different range of emotions to different people, and we really encourage people to reach out to those services. As well as Grampians Community Health, there are telephone services through Lifeline Beyond Blue that you can access at any time. I will just hand over quickly to Faith just to talk through some of the other services that Grampians Health have. Before I do that, actually, just quickly as well, any acute medical conditions that require emergency ambulance, 000 and AV will prioritise moving those through as normal. And there's also Nurse on Call and the virtual emergency department that you can access for less time acuity requests. Faith, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Faith from Grampians Community Health. I just wanted to let you know that we have a cohort of staff in Horsham and in Stawell that can come to you here in the community. So part of our intervention is around mental health and wellbeing at times like this, really complex time for you all, and the impact of it can be long term, medium term. You might feel very different tomorrow from how you feel today. I think it's also important to note too that because Dadswells is where you are located, you actually have got some incredible benefits you can get from our organisation, so please ensure that you do take a brochure, because we do a lot of in-home support as well. We can bring clinicians to you, we can talk to you over the phone, there's a lot of stuff that we can do to support you in this time. So please reach out to our intake, and just because you're a Dadswells Bridge makes no difference to us, we can come down the road from either way. So please make sure you take advantage of us. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name's Abby. I'm here from Department of Families, Fairness and Housing. Just here to let you all know that the relief payments have been activated for this event. There are eligibility criteria for these relief payments. There's a couple of ways you can access through our council staff, and then the council staff can just send your details through to us and we can have a chat. You can go through the 1800 recovery hotline number. Again, they'll just send the details through to us. Or I'm going to hang around afterwards and I'm happy to take phone numbers, addresses and names, and if you're happy for me to share that with my team, they can give you a call in the coming days and talk about your eligibility at a time that's good for you. So I'll just be up the back there with Nathan, and please come have a chat and I can take your details if you'd like one of the team to contact you. Thanks.
Thanks, Abby. So we've got a plethora, we've got so many other government agencies that are here to support you as well, including Power Corps, Agricultural Victoria, any one of them. We're here. Emergency Recovery Victoria is a state government agency that works together, combining and coordinating all the government resources in support of you. And the way we channel it to you is through your local government. So you approach your local government for anything, any questions that you might have, and they are there to provide the response, and we're behind the scenes making sure you get those answers. And again, today, tomorrow and going forward, sorry I keep walking away, because I'm going to hand over to Mandy Stewart, a Municipal Recovery Manager for Horsham Rural City Council. Thanks, Mandy.
Okay. I'll be really quick. My job, and there's someone just like me at Northern Grampians, if you prefer to talk with them, is to triage for you. So if you forget everything you've heard today and thought, oh, I think I can get help with this, that or the other, and I've completely forgotten which department or who to call, then call council and ask to be put through to me, or you might end up speaking to Sue, who's with me as well today, but we can then make sure that you're getting the right information or speaking to the right people about what you need. There are these forms at the side here that have a lot of help range of people who can help you. There's other information you can pick up, but you might just find that you go away and you just want somebody to sort out who it was you really needed to talk to. Give us a call. We have spoken and will be coming back once the fire is out, and we're talking about recovery and being led by you guys, if that's what you want to do, bringing you together in a less formal setting so you can support each other. We can look at bringing somebody, I know after the floods we had Rob Gordon come in and talk about psychological care and that sort of thing, but whatever the community collectively decides that they need from us, we'll organise that with you. We don't want to tell you what you need after this fire, because every community is different, every event is different. So happy to keep talking to you, for us to keep talking. If anyone wants my card, I can give it to you. Otherwise, you just ring the main switch at Horsham Rural City. Say Mandy said that we should be talking to her, and if I can't talk to you, then I will certainly call you back. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mandy. Now over to you. If there's anything you want to ask of anyone in the room or who's not in the room, or any comments or feedback that you want to make in front of your community, feel free. Otherwise, we will be pausing it and just sitting around for one-to-ones. Sorry, yes.
Can I?
Yes, absolutely.
Have a turn?
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm Raylene Hardy, and I'm the District 16 Peer Coordinator for the CFA. So we provide wellbeing support to CFA members and their families, and we've also got some bystander cards for community people to help them to access services like Mandy provides. There's a 1-800 number that the CFA provides for wellbeing support to their members, and I've left a whole lot of information here over on the table. And we'll be here. Shirley Walter is my other person here today, and Tony from CFA, he can also direct you to us. So if we can help you, our members in any way, or any of their family members, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, we really appreciate and value the service as well that you give to our volunteers in the community. All right, community, over to you. Dadswells Bridge, is there anything that you want to raise? Any questions that you might have now? Otherwise, we can also go one-to-one. We're not going anywhere, ever.
Can I just mention something, please?
Yeah.
The curse of Facebook, can these people be prosecuted or something like that? I've had about 20 comments back that the caravan park, the motel, the light farm are all burnt. And people ringing up from across the country there are very disturbed and distressed there that all infrastructure of Dadswells Bridge has been wiped off the face.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And it's pretty disturbing when you're struggling and facing this head on, and you've got to deal with this kind of communication from strangers across the country. Yeah, sorry. Acknowledge Peter Jackson as well, and thank you to the CFA and all the volunteers for everything that you've done in this community. I'm sorry to do that too, because I know you hate that with a passion. But over you had a question.
Everyone's been terrific. The local residents, everybody, the forest fire managers, people have been terrific to work with. But I was just going to ask about the 40k limit, whether you've got any ideas how long that might be in place. I guess it's up to the incident control, is that right?
Yeah, it is. So at the minute it was around, obviously recognising the high is really important to get it open. So as you would have seen, a lot of tree work done, has tree work, and once again we don't want highway open and tree comes over and squishes a car or a truck or anything else. So we'll assess that as we get more and more work done. What would you suggest?
We'd like to see up to 60 k's per hour.
To 60?
The residents have enjoyed the 40 k's because there's so much safer getting onto the road. Yeah, we were going to ask if there's any chance of getting 60 k's into the permanent.
Yeah, so we'll take that on board. I'll just get some assessment from our crew as to where the tree works at, but yeah, 60 might be a legitimate.
But I think probably in the next couple of days the fire crews are going to get lesser and lesser. The CFA's involvement's sort of pulling out quite substantially, so
No, something we'll take on board and look at. And the other reason was around the fact we had trucks and crews and things
yes,
on there as well. So
for sure.
And people don't unfortunately slow down for the red and blues and 40k's either. So
just want to acknowledge two things here. So one is how fast that highway was made safe to get access to it and get community back together. That was the front and foremost of the minds here. Second, speed. Great community opportunity to come together and move forward as a community. What do you want to get out? Like, how are we going to move forward? Where are we going to go? And speed restrictions and navigating, that's a really fun one for Mandy Stewart to navigate with you. And she looks forward to doing that. Any other...
Can I just say, Council's been advocating with Groves to reduce the speed limit here to 60 for a very long time, and maybe this is our best chance to actually get them to listen. So it's not the first time they will have heard it, but maybe this is going to be our best chance to get that message through to them. Absolutely. So the more voices that they hear, as Mark said to us on Wednesday night, sing from the same song sheet, you get action. The Premier was here yesterday, and every conversation she had with a local was started by, we need a mobile phone tower here. So So she got the message loud and clear. So if we come together with one voice to Vic Roads, we've probably got a better chance of reducing the speed and also widening the road in various places and turning lanes and all those sorts of things. So I think this is a really good opportunity for us all to work together.
Good on you, Rob.
Thank you. Beautiful.
And if they'd have been going through at 80 like they normally do, we wouldn't have heard you.
Yeah.
Just another quick one that's, I'm not quite sure who it should be directed at. There's going to be questions about where the bulldozers went through private properties, through fencing. What's the procedure? Does the government do anything to help people repair that at all, or is it purely up to landholders?
So it's a bit of both. So through the recovery phase, that's where any secondary impacts can get assessed and then get fed to the appropriate location. In terms of the actual control line that we've put in and fences that we've cut, they will be restored back to, as opposed to.
So that gets done, is it?
Correct. So
if you happen to want a variation to that.
It's how good are you at negotiating?
So we'll go through and do some assessment work and get all that mapped, and we've got it pretty well mapped.
Don't just bore into it, okay? I'll talk to someone.
We'll get it mapped. When they come to do the emergency stabilisation, they will make contact with the owner, and that's where you can have a conversation. I won't promise that we're going to be varying things, but
the second part of my question was going to be, what happens if they're calling in later? Who actually instigates
that will be through local government with state government support, should that come about. It depends on where we sit, and that's going to take a few days to really measure it.
I just wondered,
do
we need to trigger it, or
no.
council trigger it?
Council's there in support of you. Yeah. I'm just going to, on that one, go to Brett Boatman from CFA. No, I'm not. He's very happy.
Yeah. We'll assess control lines and fences, and we'll be in touch with landholders about how we put that back.
Correct.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yes, we can.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I just want to, in support of what you were saying, I just appreciate what you said, because when I drove from Stall direction back into Dadswells, I live on Delahunty's Road, and when I put my indicator on to turn on Delahunty's, the way the road's designed, the people behind me can't see that there's a road there. They can't see till they get really close. One time, I had my indicator on well before I give them a warning, and something got around me, even though I've got an indicator to go right. Yeah. Because they can't see Delahunty's Road. They can't see it till they get really close to it. And it's dangerous. Now, I have to pull to the left, wait till all the traffic goes, and then when it's clear, then I'm going. But I mean, people don't think to do that.
Yeah, and I think this is, again, a great opportunity.
I mean, you've got truckies that are in a hurry, you've got people that have been driving from Melbourne or whatever, and all they have to do is get home.
Right.
And you're trying to turn right. There've been so many accidents like that on that road with that sort of thing.
Yeah. Hear that clear. No, someone had their hand up there. No. Thank you. Any other concerns, feedback, points of question? I'll just go here first if that's right. Yep. Sir?
My name is John Rowley, and I live in Delahunty's Road. We bought our farm 3.5 years ago. We have a massive problem with gum trees in our property that are very, very dangerous for fire hazard. How do I go about getting rid of all of them so I can save the whole community? Because it is just ready to happen. And thanks to the CFA the other day, saved my house because I got within 50 metres.
Yeah.
And it's very dangerous. It's just a fire waiting to happen.
We might take that off the line and see how we can navigate that with the relevant agencies in CMA to move that conversation forward. Anyone else? Any concerns? Any feedback?
Yeah, I might as well have my say.
Absolutely.
On behalf of the Dadsbridge community, we thank you for the service that you offered us today. And we appreciate that. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion, bits and pieces up and down the place. But thank goes to this fellow here and his crew. Thanks, Beck.
With that beautiful note, just to point that conversations will go around, but what I ask is don't Echo Chamber, make sure we're reaching out to the Shire and moving this forward so we can get some action for you and move things forward together. I'm sorry, Mandy, you did have your hand up.
Can I just make one last point that I forgot to before? I have cards from our business team, so any of you that have businesses, be they on the highway here or small businesses at home and want any support, our business team and likewise Justine's team, Northern Grampians, are really keen to talk to you about how we can support you. And I'm picking up about the publicity about you all being gone on the main strip here. Robbie's one of our comms people, and that's something that we as a council can post about and sort of try and counsel some of that your businesses are all alive and well and when caravan parks are ready to open. But we really want you to talk about business staff. We're really keen to make sure that we're supporting you all. Be it us or Northern Grampians.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming in today. This is only the beginning. We're in it together and we're moving forward together. So all the state and federal government is sitting behind you in support of local government to ensure that each and every one of you gets what you need to take this forward to the next step. And love that the community is working together. Great focus messages. So thank you. Everyone here is staying. If you have any questions that you just wanted to talk, unpack, we would like to hear from you. Thank you, everyone.